Trusty Bob. Back in September of 2020, I turned 70. And just at the same time, I got hit by something called neuropathy, which a lot of you know about. I didn't even know what it was, but it's pain, literally all the time. It affects walking and gosh knows what else. As my doctor says, you'll be extremely clumsy now. Okay, so what have I got here? I got a cane, a walking cane. I've got some problems here that call for the use of one of these. But I'm like a lot of people, when you get to a certain age and things start to happen, you go, I'm not old enough to carry around a goddamn cane. This is probably the one that your grandpa carried. It's the traditional hook on it. I guess those are willow or something like that. We've got these things. This is a typical modern cane with the bent aluminum frame and a padded grip, I guess you'd call it. Here's another modern one. This has a T-grip on it. Here's a good old-fashioned made from a piece of wood. This is actually done nicely. I think this is probably where a branch branched off of a tree and they get that little curve right there from the natural bend in the tree. It's pretty and everything, but I can tell you right away, it sends a heck of a shock wave up to your arm. And that's really the purpose of this video, is to deal with something that's going to work to help support you, but not send a pain not send a shock wave up to the cane, through your hand and into your shoulder or wherever. And apparently that's a common thing. I didn't realize that until I started shopping for canes, and I'd read these people online talking about that. Oh, I got carpal tunnel from using a cane. Well, it did not occur to me that a cane can cause its own problems. So I've started looking around online. And first of all, we had a few of these canes around. I picked this one up at a garage sale the other day for like $1 or something. I thought, well, I'll give that a try. That looks nice. It's got the rubber tip on it. First thing, rubber tips don't do squat. To me, I can, with these ones like that, you can't see me pounding that. With ones like this, when that thing hits the asphalt, you feel the pain right up there in your hand. Same thing with this, although probably not so bad because the way it's bent. But I gotta say, this bent handle, my own experience so far, is not as easy to be steady on as the T-shaped handles. This one also, nice to look at. Pretty well got the rubber tip. Shock waves. Okay, so what's the solution to this? I went and spent about $80 on Amazon.com to get these two, which advertise having shock absorbers. I also picked up a foam pad that'll fit over a T handle like this, so we'll try that on a couple of different pieces that have that, see what that does. But right now, this is the main thing I want to look at, because these basically have spring mechanisms inside so that when they hit the ground, the spring helps dampen the shock absorbing. So we'll find out, how that really works. It's going to take a bit of testing. The one here, this one I got like last week. I've already used it a bit. I just got home from walking around Home Depot with it. And I got to tell you, for me, it's like choreography. It's like learning choreography for a dance number to walk with the cane. It's like put this foot down here and the cane down here and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's see how these two stack up. I'll have to run some tests on them, walking around, walking through some gravel. This one right here, for instance, has a spring in here, an open spring. People say if you go through gravel, you can get caught in there. I don't really walk in gravel, but just in case it comes along, I should be prepared. And this one has a spring mechanism up inside here somewhere, so it's hidden away from the stones. So let's let the testing begin. Before we check out the shock absorber canes, let's take a look at the cheaper option, the Crutch Ease Universal Cane Pad, which they say fits most T-handle canes. I bought this from Amazon.com. I think it was around $10. I have two canes with T-handles. One is the $1 wooden cane I bought at the garage sale. The other is one of the $40 shock absorber canes I bought from Amazon.com. I was surprised to find out that it did not have a foam grip already. The Crutch Ease pad wraps around the T-handle and has two tabs with Velcro to fasten it to the handle. It also has two pieces of foam that fit inside the pad, one being thicker and the other being, yep, you got it, thinner. It might also be said that one piece is too thick and the other is too thin. If you buy a cane that already has a foam grip, you'll notice that the grip fits tightly, but not this Crutch Ease pad.
It's a loose, awkward fit that is harder to hold, and it's not a good shock absorber. I can't recommend it. Okay, time for the main event, comparing the two alleged shock-absorbing walking canes. One is the WITHGEAR adaptable walking cane, advertised as shock-absorbing, height-adjustable, duralumin, lightweight walking stick for men and women with a versatile grip. The other is the FLEXTIP, advertised as fashionable walking cane for men and women, absorbs shock, bends and rotates, soft foam handle, lightweight, adjustable. I'll tell you up front, when it comes to shock absorption, the clear winner is the FLEXTIP. I had the FLEXTIP cane for a week or two before the WITHGEAR showed up, and I discovered that the FLEXTIP does a pretty good job of absorbing shock. It has a hefty spring mechanism in the tip, and it makes a difference. The WITHGEAR cane makes no difference at all when it comes to absorbing shock. The spring is so tight that even leaning on the cane with my 200-pound weight barely compresses the spring. For all practical purposes, it has no more shock-absorbing value than a cane with no spring. The FLEXTIP cane, however, is worth the extra money. I think it is going to run you about $10 more than a non-shock-absorbing cane, and you can even buy just the tip if you want to add shock absorption to a cane you already own. I did see some concerns online as to whether the spring on the FLEXTIP could get gravel caught in it. I did a little test run the other day in a gravel parking lot.
Well, I'm at a farmer's market that has a gravel and dirt driveway, so I figured this would be a good place to test out the FLEXTIP to see if that spring mechanism gets loaded up with gunk. So let's give it a try. Well, it looks like it did not pick up any gravel or even much dirt. I thought it would get pretty dusty on here. So this actually did pretty good walking through dirt and gravel driveway.
So if you're looking for a shock-absorbing cane, FLEXTIP is the way to go, and so far in my research, it's the only way to go. The WITHGEAR unit advertises shock-absorbing, but they really don't. You can find the FLEXTIP on Amazon.com. You can Google FLEXTIP cane, or you can go direct to the manufacturer's website, which is FlexSticks.com. Krusty Bob, over and out.